1947 ceased to be a state anymore and was officially unified into two new territories, Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. So, how do you see this new breath of life for the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
I think it was a very bold move taken by the government. It was almost, if I may use the term, it was a surgical operation to cut out the rot and cure the disease.
Okay.
Over the years, Article 370 and 35A had become a cancer on the society of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step was to legally remove that, and now the implementation of the process of removal of the ills of that system, because in last almost 70 years it nurtured and it created a very toxic environment inside the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So to cure that ills, a drastic action was needed, and this creation of two union territories was a very ingenious way of doing it. The biggest advantage of this would be that, number one, as a union territory, the central government, the departments, and the various ministries would directly be overseeing the work that is happening on ground, and there will be accountability of those administrators on ground to the central services. The second advantage would be that the state administration would become part of the pool of the union territory cadre, and in case anyone is not pulling his weight, it will be easier for the government to move that person out to another state or to another union territory and get competent people in to set things right. This is not reflecting anyway on the existing administrative setup there, because the administration is like a it does its master's bidding.
Okay.
Whatever the political leadership existing in the state desires, the bureaucracy and the police administration, they deliver that. As a result of that, a huge lobby of vested interests got cultivated, especially in the case of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Now, that lobby has to be dismantled. That is the key challenge for that. So that is the second important thing that will happen.
Okay.
The third most important thing that will come through is that the women. I mean, I could see so many tweets on the
Twitter
timeline that there were ladies who was tweeting their citizenship card, which had a stamp on it that valid until marriage. I mean, this is kind of a gender apartheid that has been done away with.
Okay.
So,
now, given that, yes, sir. Yeah, sir. So, how do you see the structural change in state of Jammu and Kashmir? I mean, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, sir. Now, the police force will be controlled by the center. It is a major change.
It is not. See, at the end of the day, the two lieutenant governors who have gone both to Ladakh and to the Jammu and Kashmir, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, they will be controlling everything. Okay.
Yes.
In the interim, till the time the elections are not held, the delimitation is not carried out and elections not held to the assembly.
Yeah.
So that way, what will happen is that the political lag which is there in weighing various decisions that are taken would be done away with, and the administration would be able to, in the next 3-4 months, how the administration unfolds will be the key, because in next 3 to 4 months, how the administration administers will set the tone for coming years.
Okay, sir. Okay, so what is the future of Umar Abdullah's and Mehbooba Muftis? They have run their entire life, depending upon their political career.
No, the political parties which are there on ground now, they have to get out of their sloth.
Yeah.
To get out of their, the inertia that they were having. They have to if they have to survive and it's there in all democracies. Any political party that has to survive has to connect with grassroots. It has to connect with the people on ground, and it has to represent the aspirations of people on ground. That old system of surviving on 10 to 12% voting is is going to go away, because people
Okay.
now, in the recent two elections, we have seen the panchayat elections and the BDC elections, and the direct funding of these local bodies would whet the appetite of people for development. And once
Okay.
people see that yes, this is the development that we are entitled to, they would start demanding the same from the political leadership when it
Yes.
comes around.
Okay, sir.
So the political
Sir,
leadership has evolved. Now, what was earlier, they were taking things for granted that the state will be ruled, the erstwhile state would be ruled by only these political people. That thing is no longer valid.
Yes.
There will be new leadership thrown up. There will be new circumstances, and if the current political leadership does not adapt to it, they will be cast aside.
Okay. Now I can share good information, good news to our viewers also, with you also, sir. Government has asked former chief ministers of Jammu and Kashmir to vacate their bungalows provided by government before November 1st. So they have to vacate their palace.
This move is again, it's a symbolic move, more than anything on ground. It's a symbolic move telling the people, the message is actually to the people of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, that the center will not tolerate any freeloaders.
Okay.
You see, these people, there was a provision in the old JNK constitution that anyone who became a chief minister of the state of Jammu and Kashmir would have a lifelong bungalow in JNK and elsewhere. Also, there was a whole lifetime support system. So that lifetime support system has been done away, which runs counter to democracy. You are elected to be in the office. Moment you relinquish that office, except for a few constitutional ones, you relinquish everything that went with that office.
Okay, sir. Now we go to the next news, sir, which is breaking, which is going viral in social media also. Our former army chief, Indian Army Chief VK Singh, has said that Pakistan occupied Kashmir territory is ours and we will get it. So how do you see this new statements? These statements are made by lots of our politicians also.
So you see,
what do you think about that?
This is reaffirmation. No, this is reaffirmation of a unanimous resolution passed by a parliament years back. Quite years, sometime back, our parliament had passed a unanimous resolution that the only thing that we will talk to Pakistan about is the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and that part legally, if you go as per the India Independence Act that was passed by the British Parliament, the what is now Pakistan occupied Kashmir is very legitimately a part of India.
Yes. Okay, sir. So do you think this is our common view? Now just among all our politicians and security forces?
No, this view has been there since long. You see the.
But it has. Yeah. Tell me, sir.
No, what was happening was, that there was a concerted attempt by a lot of people, well-meaning or otherwise, to see that if there could be some peaceful resolution of the issues between India and Pakistan. But as I have said earlier also, and as I say now also, that existence of a pluralist India is it negates everything that Pakistan stands for. A vibrant pluralist India is what denies the rationale for which Pakistan was created. Now the ruling class has begun to understand that especially the present political dispensation, that as far as Pakistan is concerned, they have to earn a place on the negotiating table. And the only way they can earn that place is by demonstrated conduct. Okay. If you want to talk to us, you have to take steps A, B, C. And one of the first steps to be taken in that, step A is stop dismantle terror infrastructure. And don't say that we have done it. Till now they've been saying, okay, we have done it. Now that is incorrect. In all its good intentions, previous governments went to the extent that terror should not be allowed to disrupt talks. But that was taken by Pakistan as a license to. So now we have said, okay, fine. Now no more bleeding us. You want to talk? Please act on our.
Okay, sir. Talking about terror, Russia has made it very clear to India that they will help us eliminating terror from a safe haven all across the globe. That is basically Pakistan. Okay. So, stressing the need for elimination of all the safe havens of terrorism, India and Russia on Thursday called for credible and irreversible and verifiable actions against terror and terror groups. So, how do you think this statement from Russia, sir? India's old
It's a very powerful,
name,
reaffirmation
this
of
look very, very powerful. Yes.
the strong. Yes, it's a very powerful reaffirmation of Indo-Russia ties, and the world today is beginning to realize that you see, initially when this whole terror thing started off, it was okay, it's between Palestinians and the Israelis. Then it became okay, it's between it was isolated in pockets. It is in Africa, it is intertribal warfare. And, somewhere it was said that it is communal conflict. But today, terror has become a monster that needs to be addressed by every freedom-loving country in the world. The time when terror could be classified into good terror and bad terror is over. Terrorist is a terrorist. Okay,
Yes.
terrorist is not a freedom fighter. There are a difference between freedom fighters and terrorists. Terrorist can never be a freedom fighter. That the world is coming to realize. That is why bodies like FATF have come up. That is why United Nations is now more proactive on anti-terror. There are more proactive bilaterals on anti-terror security, like the recent one. Even Saudi Arabia has, without putting it in words, but
Okay.
it has indicated that much.
Okay. And one more thing from India's former ambassador visiting Arunachal Pradesh and reaffirming India that US stand with India on the claim on Arunachal Pradesh.
This is how the world is now evolving. From the absolute black and white world of Cold War era, where you were communist and capitalist two camps and anyone in between was nobody. That was the non-aligned movement. Then we came to a unipolar world. With the collapse of Soviet Union. Now the world order that is now evolving is centered around, and everybody in the world realizes that no territory can be defined or redrawn anywhere in the world, because if you do it in one corner of the world, it will open up a Pandora's box all over the world. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So
Yes.
this reaffirmation of this actually, the US ambassador's visit to Arunachal Pradesh and to Dalai Lama is a reaffirmation of two basic points. The first basic point is that US respects India's territorial integrity
Sovereignty.
and
Yeah.
supports India in upholding its right to maintain its territorial integrity. The
Okay.
second thing about Dalai Lama is that US also respects India's pluralistic society, where
Yes.
the Tibetans have had the full freedom to come and stay as refugees and practice their faith as it is. Because China has made a statement that the next Dalai Lama will have to be one who will comply with Chinese laws. That is interfering in religious affairs. Okay, you do
Yes,
not do
of
that
the
in
Tibet.
a pluralistic state.
Yes. Okay. After
And
Russia,
it is important
after
to see that in context of the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church has capitulated to China's demand that whoever is appointed a bishop in China will mandatorily require the concurrence of Chinese government. So this is actually if you look at it in that context, then you see this this thing that the next Dalai Lama will not be necessarily require a Chinese approval.
Okay. After US, after Russia, now we got support from United Kingdom also. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Wednesday has said in their British Parliament that UK's long-standing stance of Kashmir's being a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan remains unchanged. So, how do you think about that, sir?
As far as UK is concerned, you see, I look at it from 2 points of view. Number one, in UK, there is a very peculiar situation that all political parties in UK depend on a large Indian subcontinent population. People from India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, some from Afghanistan, all former colonies. So any politician there, he has to. But the British establishment, the British government has traditionally followed the line that Kashmir is a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan. Now, not only Britain, I like to digress a little bit here. You see, Pakistan has a habit of repudiating any agreement that it doesn't. So they'll sign an agreement today, they'll say, no, we are not happy with it. So Shimla agreement they signed because they needed those 93,000 prisoners back. So, but moment that happened, a few years down the line, they said, sorry, we don't recognize Shimla agreement. Except for Indus Water Treaty, there is no agreement between India and Pakistan that Pakistan has followed religiously. And Indus Water Treaty is doing so because it suits Pakistan. So now the time has come, and Shimla agreement basically defined that all issues between India and Pakistan are bilateral and everything else is off the table. So all the countries now coming around of the view is again taking Pakistan back to honor its commitments under the international agreements. You see, Pakistan as a state has to learn it to honor its obligations under international agreements and conventions. A very silly thing that they keep doing is they deny permission to President and Prime Minister to overfly. It is a very, mean-minded, a very small mind. It is a result of a people of very small mind. But it is telling the world that Pakistan is a rogue state that does not recognize or uphold its obligations under the international laws and conventions.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's a very interesting day yesterday. 5 main things happened simultaneously. The two European MPs visited Kashmir, and PM Narendra Modi in Saudi Arabia, and US ambassador visit to Arunachal Pradesh, and US diplomats at Dalai Lama also, and US acknowledged the India's sovereignty Arunachal Pradesh. So do you think our Narendra Modi government is doing great with this diplomacy?
You see, the most important thing that happened with the advent of the present government in 2014 was India stopped being apologetic about its size. Its size in as far as the geographic size, the size of its population, the size of its economy, the size of its military. I mean, the size of everything. The biggest size that makes a difference all over the world today is its purchasing power size. The whole world today is gravitating towards India because India is now leveraging that, and we are not being unreasonable about it. We are being very reasonable about it. We are accommodating others, and we are expecting others to accommodate our interests. So it is working like that.
Okay.
To the credit of late Sushma Swaraj ji and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they have actually turned our foreign ministry into the truly representing the India's core interests. You see, in our what we inherited at independence as foreign ministry establishment was partly British. Then it got into the Cold War thing. It became non-aligned. Then it became, the protecting of India's ideological, political interest. The basic change that has happened is that the core ideology of our ruling establishment today, our political dispensation, our administration, everything is India first.
Okay.
That's why you had some, and India exercised that. India demonstrated that when we carried out the key feature of that was the evacuation that we carried out from Yemen, where we demonstrated our diplomatic, where we got the air window from Saudi Arabia that they will not bomb for 2 hours, so we can evacuate in 2 hours. We got Yemen to give us clearance on that airfield.
Yes.
Houthis to give us a clearance on that field. We got Ethiopia to allow us to use their base as a mother base for all evacuation, and so that was the culmination of the that how India had been projecting itself, and how India was I won't say it was not I won't use the term of cashing its this thing, but it was that India was utilizing its relations for betterment of Indians. So that is the big change that has happened. Previously, we were driven by ideology. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think, sir, India has become a major power in the region? The only power which can take on China in the region.
You see, I would not look at it that way. We are not taking on China anywhere. It would be wrong to put everything in binaries.
Yeah.
The key thing that we have to do is we have to look after our interests, Indian interests.
Okay.
And in looking after Indian interests, we have to also see that, you see, confrontation is not always the answer. So
Okay.
we have to, you see, like the classic case I can give is what happened in Maldives. India
Yeah.
stood to its principal stand that democracy must happen in Maldives.
Mhm.
The previous president of Maldives, he swung Pakistan way, he swung China way, and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the people of
He was thrown out.
Maldives, they threw him out because they realized that no, he's going wrong.
India's
And
power is eminent. Yeah.
so now the present administration of Maldives is more democratic, they're more balanced, and obviously India is the only, if you look at it in those terms, India is the only country in the region which can provide that kind of support and administration that the smaller states need in terms of money, in terms of emergency. I mean, we saw what happened in tsunami when tsunami came, the great tsunami came a few years back. Indian
Okay.
Navy was the first to reach Sri Lanka. Indian Navy was first to reach various parts of the affected area. Our own, we not only took care of our own backyard, our own country's requirements, but all
Okay.
other states that were aligned to us, that were
Yes.
co-located with us. So we have demonstrated that we do not have hegemonistic designs anywhere. We are not trying to rule over people. We are not trying to dominate with them. What we are seeking, sorry, what we are
Yeah,
seeking
no
is cooperation.
Okay. Okay, sir, and
Cooperation
yeah.
collaboration.
Yes. Okay. And great salute to our Prime Minister Modi, because he is planning to build 100 new airports in 5 years by 2024. Do you think Indian economy is growing at a faster pace now, beyond all the propaganda spread by radical
You
newses?
see,
Yeah.
again we have to understand how things happen. Okay, na? If you, I'll just give you one segment. That is the segment of eating out. Okay, the families go out to eat. So previously, the work-life culture was that you had time to yourself, so you could get into a vehicle, drive to a eating joint, eat there, spend some time there, and come back. Today, the work culture, especially in urban areas, is such that you don't have time. So a new branch has created up, that is home delivery. You Zomato, Swiggy, Dunzo, any of these big people, but what they're basically doing is they are catering to a need.
Okay.
And that is the thing that we have to understand, that as economy develops, as economy grows, the needs change, and the economy has to adapt to the needs. Now, if you look at the auto sector, where people are saying slow down, they're crying. Sorry, I do not agree with that. The slowdown is happening because all auto companies wanted to milk, and I'm using the term again, milk in capitals, MILK, the BS4 engines. Okay. Now, the biggest problem is that you have to, if you have to get, you are moving into BS6 stage now, and that is a Supreme Court order. If you're moving to a BS6 stage, your BS4 engines, your technology, your assembly lines, your molds that you have for the plant, everything that you designed, your people who are trained in BS4 engines, all that becomes obsolete. The industry was hoping that they will be allowed to milk this for some period of time. Okay. That has not happened. The government has been firm, the Supreme Court has been firm that no, BS4 engines have to be phased out before a particular date. There was one anomaly that said that BS4 engines will not be allowed on the road after a particular date. That has been clarified by the Finance Ministry that no, all BS4 engines registered before that date will be allowed to complete their 15-year life cycle. Okay. So that has happened. But again, second factor that happened coupled with that was that I came to know of this about when I was trying to find out this whole thing. Another thought that I checked up was that BS4 vehicles which have done 10 to 11 years of life are dirt cheap. I heard of a person who was telling me that he is planning to buy a Honda Accord for 1.25 lakhs. I said, why? कहता सर वो it is of this thing 2007 and
Okay,
it
okay.
will complete 15 years, so it has just got 4 years life left, so I'll buy that
Okay,
from that
sir.
chap.
Yeah.
So this actually the slowdown that everybody is talking is not the slowdown per se, I would say.
Okay. Now we will end this small chat and interaction with 2 points from Pakistan, 2 news from Pakistan. One, Pakistan Supreme Court on Wednesday, that is yesterday, recommended the parliament to redefine the word terrorism in the line of international perspective. So what is happening in Pakistan? We can see some changes in Pakistan. Are we seeing some changes in Pakistan regarding terrorism? Because,
you see, if you look at the present situation of Pakistan, Pakistan is in a state where no country should actually be. It's a nightmare for the ruling class.
Okay.
There are two borders which are hostile, where moment they do try anything funny, they get very badly responded to. There is internal turmoil. I mean, it's so interesting that the hashtag of the Maulana Fazlur Rahman's march is Azadi for democratic institutions.
Yes.
So from whom does the democratic institutions of Pakistan need Azadi?
Okay. That is basically from Pakistan Army. That's what they want to do. They want to go ahead and take the power from Pakistan Army.
Yeah, the security establishment. So that is one thing. The second thing that is happening is now there is an alternative that they try to create. There's a Jamaat called Tablighi Jamaat.
Okay.
They are very low profile but very hardcore and very, very distinct. They are also having a jalsa now in I think this weekend or next week in
It is going to be a chaos now. Yeah.
So now this is what is happening. Nawaz Sharif.
Before we just talk about that, because my second question is that on Pakistan. So I will ask this question and you can continue and explain. As we can know, this Azad March, nearly with some 1 million people are protesting against the Pakistan Army's rules and their puppet Prime Minister Imran Khan. Now they are closing in to the federal capital of Pakistan. We can hear news that Pakistan Army has planned to bring in their 111 Brigade, which is meant for coup in Pakistan. So do you think something is going on beyond civilian line? There is some coup plan is going on, some chaos is coming to Pakistan, or something is wrong with things happening there.
There has to be. You see, what happens is, first of all, let's understand one thing. All administrations, be it Pakistan, India, or world over, whenever they see a situation evolving, they take contingency measures. Contingency measures means that they visualize that how it unfolds, what are the things that can go wrong, and wherever they feel things can go wrong, they try to pre-position resources to take care of that. So when you are having, you see now my question, there are two posers that I wish to pose to all the people who are listening to this. You have to understand this, that Maulana Fazlur Rahman is taking around, he claims he's got 10 lakh people and 1 lakh people have joined him in Punjab. I would take 50% of that, to say 5 lakh people. Okay. Now, the cost of feeding all those 5 lakh people are not going to go hungry. Okay. The cost of providing food to those 5 lakh people is heavy. It's very, very heavy per day.
Yeah.
If you take the basics, if you say, given the type of inflation and things that are happening in Pakistan, it would be a tremendous amount of money. Where is this money coming from?
Okay.
That's the first. Second thing.
Do you think Pakistan Army is somewhat helping this movement to go through?
No, you see, again, at the moment things are too nebulous, so you cannot say that. There are many. This money can come from various mothers. This money can come from various NGOs. This money, there are people who like to, even in India, you can see that whenever anybody is going on agitation, you'll find him being funded from left, right, center. Yes. Most people don't realize that. See, so that is the first question that I have, that who is funding Maulana Fazlur Rahman? That is the question that will unravel itself in maybe next 14-15 days, and we'll come to know.
Because as per our sources, it's been clear that some secret meeting has been taken place in Pakistan between Imran Khan and with its cabinet minister and Pakistan generals also, as per our sources. But it says like Imran Khan has planned a strategy against this Azadi March, and they have planned to bring in most of their troops into their Islamabad before they reach.
Anybody who's in administration would plan for these things. They would put things there. So I will not put too much of it into that.
Okay.
The issue to be seen is that this situation, how will this situation diffuse? Because at some point of time, either this situation will descend into utter chaos and disarray, or it will be diffused.
Okay, this Azadi March is demanding resignation from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, right, sir? So how do you see that?
I was coming to that, and I tweeted about it also day before yesterday, that the Maulana Fazlur Rahman has called this march a jihad. The first time he used this term jihad in relation to this Azadi March. Okay, and that is what is now to be understood, that how this issue will, because there are many players in this. The whole Pakistani establishment, if rumors are to be believed again, there was somebody from Pakistan who had tweeted this out, that they went to a particular embassy which was not named, that requesting that embassy to speak to Maulana Fazlur Rahman to do the march but not do a sit-in.
Okay. So that is obviously from Saudi Arabia, maybe. I'm just guessing.
We don't know, so we will not. We don't know, so we will not speculate on.
Okay.
But the point is that that shows how rattled the present administration and what they do not know how to tackle this. Now add to this what happens. Nawaz Sharif is critical. Everybody is saying he's critical.
Next
48 hours, next 72 hours is the word that is coming out.
The important thing is we never heard from him. I think he's in very critical stage. He might die very soon.
He is in Services Hospital at the moment. That is what the last known location that has come out.
Okay.
And one of the Pakistani reporters said that all his medical reports were verified by this Imran Khan's hospital. And then Imran Khan said, no, I wish him good health. Till then they were thinking that this may not be exactly a critical illness. But coming back to the point that I was trying to make was that you see there are three events that are taking place right now. The three circumstances developing. One is Nawaz Sharif's ill health. Similarly, Asif Ali Zardari also is in ill health. He is also critically ill. The Tablighi Jamaat is meeting in this weekend in Rawalpindi. All these long marches are there. Maulana Fazlur Rahman's team is there in Rawalpindi. Now, God forbid, in any one of these circumstances, if there is a spark, something breaks out between Tablighi Jamaat and Maulana Fazlur Rahman's party, there can be chaos, there will be violence on the street. If either Nawaz Sharif or Zardari passes away or they suffer health reverses, there will be chaos on the street because PMNL and PAPP cadres will not sit tight.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your great views and on the basically topmost stories of the day. And thank you for coming back to our channel.